The Let Them Theory, by Mel Robbins. Introduction. Picture this. A high school prom. But it's not the magical night you see in movies. It's chaos. Mel Robbins, a mother who has already navigated 4 of these stressful nights with her daughters, thinks she's prepared for her son Oakley's prom. She's wrong. Everything is a last-minute scramble. The tuxedo, the sneakers, even finding a date happens just 48 hours before the big night. As they're rushing out the door, rain begins to pour, a full-on downpour that wasn't in the forecast. 20 teenagers in black tie, with no umbrellas. And that's when Mel overhears it. "So, what do you guys want to do for dinner?" She leans in, whispering to her son, "You don't have a reservation for dinner?" "Nope," he says, with the casual indifference only a teenage boy can muster. Her mind races. 20 kids, no plan, a torrential downpour. Their idea? A tiny taco joint downtown that can barely seat 4 people. While the other parents start swarming, frantically calling restaurants and trying to take control, Mel is right there with them, phone in hand, searching for a solution. And that's when her daughter, Kendall, home from college, grabs her arm. She looks her mother dead in the eye and says the words that would change everything. "Mom, if Oakley and his friends want to go to a taco bar for pre-prom, let 'em. But they'll get soaked," Mel protests. "Let 'em get soaked. His new sneakers will be ruined." "Mom, let 'em. It's their prom. Not yours. Just let 'em." Let them. In that moment, something inside Mel shifted. The tension disappeared. The frantic need to manage, to control, to fix, it all just evaporated. And in its place, a profound and simple peace. This tiny moment at a high school prom sparked a global phenomenon. A 2-word theory that has been viewed by hundreds of millions of people, tattooed on thousands of bodies, and shared in over 194 countries. A theory so simple, yet so powerful, that it can fundamentally change your relationship with every single person in your life. Today, we're diving deep into Mel Robbins' life-altering book, The Let Them Theory. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, you will hold the key to freeing yourself from the opinions, the drama, and the judgment of others. You will learn how to stop wasting your precious energy on things you cannot control, and finally start pouring it into the one thing you can: your own life, your own dreams, and your own happiness. This isn't just about feeling better. This is about taking your power back. Book summary. So, what is it about those 2 simple words, "let them," that strikes such a deep chord in all of us? To understand that, we have to start with a fundamental truth about being human, a truth that drives nearly all of our anxiety and frustration. We are all wired with a deep primal need for control. We want to control our time, our environment, our future, and most of all, we try to control other people. We live our lives under the illusion that if we just say the right thing, do the right thing, or work hard enough to please everyone, we can manage their opinions, their moods, and their actions. We bend over backward hoping our partner won't be disappointed. We keep the peace, hoping our family will finally stop judging our choices. We exhaust ourselves, thinking that if we can just keep everyone happy, we'll finally feel good about ourselves. But it never works. You can't control other people. And every ounce of energy you spend trying is energy you are stealing from your own life. This is where Mel Robbins introduces the first part of her powerful formula. The moment you feel that tension rise, that urge to correct, to manage, to worry about what someone else is doing or thinking, you say to yourself, "Let them." Let them be in a bad mood. It's not your problem to solve. Let them have their opinions about your life choices. Their opinions don't change who you are. Let them not invite you to brunch. Let them think you're making a mistake. At first, it might feel like you're giving up. But it's the opposite. You are releasing yourself from a battle you are never going to win. You are taking your hands off a steering wheel that was never yours to begin with. This act of letting them be is an act of profound freedom. But as Mel quickly discovered, it's only half the equation. It solves the external battle, but it leaves you hanging. Let's go back to that seesaw on the playground. When you're obsessing over someone else, maybe you see friends on a trip you weren't invited to, you feel small, insecure, and left out. You're on the low end of the seesaw. Their fun weighs you down. When you first say, "Let them," you get a jolt of power. You push off the ground. Now you're on the high end of the seesaw, looking down with a sense of superiority. You feel detached, wiser, almost above it all. And for a moment, that feels good. It breaks the emotional spiral. But if you stay there, perched high up in your judgment, you become isolated. You might think, "Fine, I don't need them anyway." You withdraw, you build walls, and you end up feeling more alone than ever. This is the trap so many of us fall into. And it's why Mel realized there had to be a second, even more critical step. After you say "let them," you must immediately follow it with two other words: "Let me." Let them go on the trip without me. Let me be honest with myself. Have I been making an effort in those friendships? Let me take responsibility for creating the social life I want. Let me reach out and plan something fun. Let them is about releasing control over others. Let me is about taking radical control over yourself. It pulls the seesaw back into balance. It's not about superiority or inferiority, it's about equality and personal responsibility. You give them the space to live their lives, and you give yourself the grace and the power to live yours. This two-part framework, let them plus let me, is the engine that drives the entire philosophy. It's a tool you can apply to every corner of your life, starting with the one that drains us the most: stress. Part 1. You and the theory. Mastering your inner world. Think about your average day. The slow driver in the fast lane. The internet that buffers at the worst possible moment. The cashier moving in slow motion when you're already late. The person coughing openly on the plane right behind you. Mel calls this death by 1,000 cuts. Each one is a tiny stressor that, on its own, seems insignificant. But they add up, hijacking your brain and stealing your peace. When these things happen, your brain's alarm system, a little almond-shaped region called the amygdala, kicks into gear. This is your ancient, reptilian brain, designed for survival. It triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense up, and your rational thinking mind, the prefrontal cortex, goes offline. In that moment, you're not making calm, logical choices. You're reacting. And most of us, has drive. Aditi Nerurkar explains in the book, are living in a chronic state of this low-grade stress. Our alarm system is always humming in the background, leaving us exhausted, irritable, and unable to focus on what truly matters. So how do you turn off the alarm? The next time a small stressor hits, your first instinct will be to react, to get annoyed. Instead, you're going to pause. First, you say, let them. Let them drive slowly. Let the line be long. Let him cough. This simple phrase is a signal to your brain. It says, this is not a threat. We're safe. It's like a sigh of relief for your nervous system. You are consciously choosing not to give your power away to a situation you cannot control. Then, immediately, you follow with the second part. Let me take a deep breath. Let me listen to a podcast in the car. Let me put on my headphones and turn up the music. In that moment, you shift your focus from what you can't control the other person to the one thing you can always control: your response. You're not just managing stress, you're taking back your power. You're deciding that a stranger's behavior isn't important enough to ruin your mood or drain your energy. This principle becomes even more critical when we move from fleeting annoyances to one of the most powerful forces that holds us back: the fear of other people's opinions. What will they think? It's a question that has killed more dreams than failure ever will. Mel shares a deeply personal story about this. For 2 full years, she knew exactly what she needed to do to turn her speaking career from a free side hustle into a paid profession. The formula was simple: build a website, get testimonials, and most importantly, start posting about her work on social media. But she didn't. For 2 years, she was paralyzed. Why? Because her social media was filled with friends and family. She was terrified of what they would think. Who does she think she is? What a phony. She's so full of herself. This fear kept her stuck, drowning in debt, and denying herself the future she desperately wanted. She was giving the imagined opinions of others more power than her own ambition. How do you break free from this prison? You don't try to convince yourself to stop caring. That's impossible. Instead, you lean into the truth with a let them theory. Let them think bad thoughts about you. In fact, expect it. People who love you have negative thoughts about you all the time. Your parents, your best friends, your partner, they all have fleeting thoughts that you're being messy, or lazy, or annoying. It's a normal part of being human. We have around 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are random and uncontrollable. You can't even control your own thoughts, so why do you think you can control someone else's? You can't. So, stop trying. Give people the freedom to think whatever they want. And then, give yourself the freedom to live. Let me make decisions that make me proud. Let me take risks that align with my values. Let me write the book, post the picture, apply for the job. Let me live my one wild and precious life. When you operate from a place of what makes you proud, the opinions of others become irrelevant noise. It's not about being selfish, it's about anchoring your life to your own internal compass, not the shifting winds of external approval. This becomes especially powerful when dealing with the raw, unpredictable nature of emotional reactions, both ours and others. The book offers a groundbreaking insight from Mel's therapist: most adults are just 8-year-old children in big bodies. Think about it. When a child doesn't get the toy they want, they might cry, pout, or throw a tantrum. They don't have the skills to regulate their big emotions. Well, most adults never learned those skills either. They just got better at hiding them. The child who sulks in the corner becomes the adult who gives you the silent treatment. The child who throws a tantrum becomes the adult who sends rage-filled texts. The child who runs away becomes the adult who avoids confrontation at all costs. When you see someone's emotional immaturity for what it is, a grown-up throwing a tantrum, your frustration can transform into compassion. It's not your job to manage their feelings, and it's certainly not your job to give them the toy just to make them stop crying. Your job is to let them have their reaction. Let them be angry. Let them be disappointed. Let them give you the silent treatment. Their emotional outburst is not your responsibility to fix. Then, you turn to yourself. Let me be the mature, wise adult in this situation. Let me set a boundary with kindness and firmness. Let me remove myself from the drama. This is how you stop walking on eggshells. It's how you say no without feeling guilty. It's how you make decisions that are right for you, even if they upset someone else. The book shares the heart-wrenching story of a man weeks away from his wedding, filled with a deep sense of dread. He knows he's making a mistake, but he's terrified of disappointing his family, losing deposits, and breaking his fiancée's heart. The right decision? To call it off feels horribly wrong because it will cause immense pain. And this is a dilemma we all face. We often choose to inflict pain on ourselves to avoid causing pain to others. But you can't protect everyone from feeling difficult emotions. Heartbreak, disappointment, and anger are normal, healthy responses to life's upsets. When you make a hard but necessary decision, you have to let him feel their pain. Let her parents be angry. Let his family be disappointed. And then, let me ride the wave of my own guilt and discomfort. Let me be honest. Let me do the hard thing now to prevent a lifetime of pain later. The right decision often feels wrong in the moment, but your courage to face that discomfort is what sets you free. Finally, we arrive at one of the most toxic habits of the modern age: chronic comparison. Life isn't fair. Someone will always seem to have it better. A faster metabolism, wealthier parents, a better job, a more attractive partner. It's like a card game where some people are just dealt a better hand. The book argues that you can spend your whole life staring at their cards, feeling bitter and defeated. Or you can learn to play the hand you've been dealt. Comparison comes in two forms: torture or a teacher. Comparison is torture when you obsess over things you can never change. Your height, your bone structure, your family's history. Worrying about these things is a form of self-abuse. It drains your confidence and keeps you stuck. For these things, you have no choice but to let them. Let him be taller. Let him have a different body type. It has nothing to do with you. But comparison becomes your greatest teacher when you feel a pang of jealousy over something that is, with time and effort, achievable. When you see someone with a successful business, a fit body, or an amazing friend group, and you feel that burn of envy, that's not a signal that you're a failure. That is a message from your future self. It's a spotlight shining on something you truly want. Mel tells a powerful story about her friend Molly, a talented interior designer who was sent into a spiral when an irritating neighbor with no experience started blowing up on social media for her design posts. Molly was furious. "She's going to steal my clients. It's not fair." But the anger wasn't really about the other woman. It was anger at herself. The neighbor was simply a mirror, reflecting back all the things Molly knew she should have been doing for years: updating her website, posting her work, marketing her business. That person who makes you jealous isn't your competition. They are your teacher. They are showing you the formula. They are showing you what's possible. So, let them be successful. Let them lead the way. Then, let me get to work. Let me stop making excuses. Let me turn this jealousy into fuel. When you shift your perspective, comparison stops being a source of pain and becomes your roadmap to progress. You stop seeing other people's wins as your losses and start seeing them as proof that you can win too. Part 2. Your relationships. Building a world of connection. Now that we understand how to manage our own inner world, we can turn our attention outward to the most important factor for a happy life: our relationships. Let's start with adult friendship. It's hard, isn't it? If you've ever found yourself wondering, "Where did all my friends go?" You're not alone. The book explains that we struggle because we approach adult friendship with a childhood mindset. As kids, friendship is a group sport. You're all on the same team, in the same school, on the same schedule. The structure is built for you. But then comes what Mel calls the great scattering. After high school or college, everyone scatters. Different cities, different jobs, different timelines. The structure that held your friendships together is gone, and friendship becomes an individual sport. If you keep waiting to be invited, you'll be waiting a long time. Friendships in adulthood are governed by three invisible pillars: proximity, timing, and energy. Proximity is simple. You're more likely to be close with people you see often. It takes over 200 hours to form a close friendship. That was easy in a college dorm. It's a huge challenge when you're a busy adult. Timing refers to your stage of life. If your friends are all having kids while you're single and building a career, it can be harder to relate. Energy is that unexplainable click. You either have it with someone, or you don't. And that energy can shift over time as you both grow and change. When a friendship fades, it's almost always because one or more of these pillars has shifted. It's rarely personal. So, let them move away. Let them get married. Let the energy shift. Stop gripping so tightly to friendships that are naturally evolving. And then, the real work begins. Let me be the one to go first. Let me take responsibility for creating community. Mel shares her own painful experience of moving to a new town at 54 and feeling desperately lonely. For a year, she did nothing but feel sorry for herself. Finally, her daughters forced her to walk up a stranger's driveway and knock on the door, saying, "Our mom needs friends." That awkward, terrifying moment was the beginning of everything. She started a new habit: going first. Saying hello to the barista and learning his name. Introducing herself to the couple she saw every morning at the coffee shop. Complimenting strangers. Slowly, one awkward conversation at a time, she built a new community. Because here's the secret: everyone wants connection. Some of your favorite people are out there, waiting for someone brave enough to go first. What about when it's not about making new friends, but about the people already in our lives who we wish would change? Your partner who won't exercise, your friend who's stuck in a dead-end job, your sibling who makes poor choices. The hard truth is, you can't motivate someone else. People only change when they feel like it. And nagging, pressuring, and criticizing don't make them feel like it. In fact, it does the opposite. As neuroscience shows, our brains are wired to move toward pleasure and away from pain. Your pressure feels like pain, so they resist you to maintain their sense of control. They dig their heels in. You get stuck in a standoff. You push, they pull back. Nothing changes, and the relationship suffers. The only way to break the deadlock is to stop pushing. Let them be. Let them sit on the couch. Let them stay in that job. Accept them, right here, right now, as they are. This acceptance is not surrender. It's strategy. When you remove the pressure, you create the space for positive influence. Instead of telling them what to do, you model the behavior yourself. You make it look fun, easy, and rewarding. This is what drive. Taylor Sherritt calls social contagion. Behavior is contagious. Your positive example will do more to inspire them than your words ever could. If you need to have a conversation, the book offers a powerful framework called the ABC loop. A is for apologize and ask. Start by saying, "I'm sorry for pressuring you. I've never actually asked. How do you feel about your health/job/situation?" Then, just listen. Ask open-ended questions. Your goal isn't to be right, it's to help them hear themselves. B is for back off and observe their behavior. After the conversation, say nothing. Give them space. Let the tension they now feel do the work. C is for celebrate. The moment you see the smallest step of progress, celebrate it. Positive reinforcement is incredibly powerful. It wires their brain to associate the hard thing with a good feeling. This approach works beautifully for everyday changes. But what about when someone is truly struggling with addiction, depression, or crippling grief? Surely you can't just let them spiral. Of course not. If someone is in immediate danger, you step in. But for the long, hard journey of healing, the principle is even more critical. The more you rescue someone, the more they sink. There is a fine line between supporting and enabling. Enabling is making excuses for their behavior, giving them money without conditions, or shielding them from the consequences of their actions. When you enable, you are unintentionally prolonging their suffering by making it easier for them to avoid the hard work of healing. Supporting, on the other hand, is believing in their ability to heal themselves. It's walking beside them as they face what they're avoiding. It's creating an environment that makes healing easier, dropping off a healthy meal, taking their kids for an afternoon, sending a text that says "I'm thinking of you," without expecting a reply. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to let them hit rock bottom. Let them feel the natural consequences of their choices. It is often that pain that finally galvanizes their will to change. And then, let me be the one who stands by their side, holding the light, reminding them of the strength they have within. Let me offer support with conditions. I will pay for your therapy, but not your rent. Let me believe in their recovery, even when they don't. This brings us to the most vulnerable part of our lives: love. Whether you're dating, in a long-term partnership, or healing from heartbreak, the let them theory is your compass. When you're dating, it's so easy to get lost in the fantasy of what a relationship could be, instead of seeing the reality of what it is. You make excuses for their behavior, you chase their potential, and you ignore the red flags because you're scared of being alone. The book offers a simple, powerful truth. If someone likes you, you'll know. If they don't, you'll be confused. Confusion is not a signal to try harder. It's a clear message. Their behavior tells you everything you need to know. Let them show you who they are. Let them text you but never make a plan. Let them ghost you. Let them tell you they don't like labels. Their behavior is not a mystery to be solved. It's a fact to be accepted. They are showing you that you are not a priority. And once you accept that, you must turn to yourself. Let me value my time more than this. Let me walk away from anyone who is not choosing me back. Let me believe I deserve mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual love. Saying no to the wrong person is how you say yes to finding the right one. But what if you're already in a committed relationship and things feel stuck? The Gottman Institute has found that a staggering 69% of relationship problems are perpetual. They will never be solved. It could be a difference in personality, habits, or values. Your partner will likely never change that thing that drives you crazy. So, you have a choice. Let them be who they are. And then ask yourself the big question: is this a deal breaker? Can I love and accept this person, exactly as they are, for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, if their behavior violates one of your core values or requires you to give up on a fundamental dream, then you have a hard decision to make. But if the answer is yes, then you have another choice. Let me end my bitching. Let me stop complaining, stop nagging, and stop trying to change them. Let me accept them fully, and focus on all the wonderful things that made me fall in love with them in the first place. This is how you water the grass where you are. Every relationship, whether it lasts a lifetime or a season, is a teacher. And every ending is a beautiful beginning. Heartbreak is devastating, yes. But it is also a powerful opportunity to unlearn who you were with them, and to rediscover who you are without them. It's a chance to build a life that is so full, so joyful, and so aligned with your soul, that the next person who comes along has to be truly extraordinary to be a part of it. And that brings us to the final, and most important, relationship of all. For this entire journey, we have been focused on them. But the truth is, this book was never really about them. It was always about you. You've spent so long trying to control the sky, wishing away the clouds, fearing the storms. But you can't control the weather. You can only decide how to navigate beneath it. You can carry an umbrella. You can dance in the rain. You can chase the sun. You are the only person you are guaranteed to spend the rest of your life with. You are the love of your life. So, let them be them. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand. Let them go their own way. And finally, let me be me. Let me be messy. Let me be brave. Let me be a work in progress. Let me pursue my dreams with relentless passion. Let me set boundaries that protect my peace. Let me build a life that makes me proud. You don't need anyone's permission. Your Let Me era is here. Commentary. What an incredible journey. When you first hear it, let him can sound almost passive, like giving up. But as we've explored, it's the exact opposite. It's one of the most powerful and active stances you can take in your own life. The genius of Mel Robbins' framework is its profound simplicity. It takes ancient wisdom from Stoicism, modern principles from psychology, and complex neuroscience, and boils it all down into a two-step mantra that you can use in any situation, at any moment. It's a declaration of freedom. Freedom from the exhausting, impossible task of managing the entire world around you. For so long, you may have believed that your happiness depended on other people's actions. If only they would change. If only they would see your worth. If only they would act the way you want them to. The let them theory flips that script entirely. It says your happiness, your peace, and your success have absolutely nothing to do with them, and everything to do with you. It's a radical shift from being a passenger in your own life to grabbing the steering wheel with both hands. The let me part is where the real magic happens. It's not just a thought, it's a call to action. It's the moment you stop waiting and start creating. It's the moment you stop blaming and start building. It's the moment you realize that your potential is not limited by other people's opinions, but only by your own willingness to take the next step. So, how can you start living this theory today, right now? Here are 3 simple actions you can take. First, the micro-stress test. For the next 24 hours, I want you to become an observer of your own reactions. When that car cuts you off, or your Wi-Fi drops, or someone says something that irks you, just notice that initial flash of frustration. Then, in your mind, say, let them, and take one conscious, deep breath. Don't try to solve it. Don't try to fix it. Just let it be, and notice the tiny space that opens up inside you. That space is your power. Second, the comparison flip. The next time you're scrolling online and you feel that familiar pang of jealousy, that feeling of less than, I want you to pause. Ask yourself one question. Is this torture, or is this a teacher? If it's something you can't change, consciously release it. Say let them and move on. But if it's a teacher, get curious. What is this jealousy trying to tell me that I truly want? Write it down. Acknowledge it not as a weakness, but as a clue to your own desires. And third, the Go First Challenge. Sometime in the next week, find one small opportunity to initiate a connection, with zero expectation. It could be smiling and saying hello to the cashier at the grocery store. It could be complimenting a stranger on their shoes. Or it could be texting an old friend just to say, hey, thinking of you. Hope you're well, and then putting your phone away without waiting for a reply. The goal isn't to get something back, it's to practice being the source of warmth and connection in your own life. That was a summary of the Let Them theory by Mel Robbins. We've explored the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. The map can show you the landmarks and the main roads, but it can never replace the experience of actually walking the ancient streets, smelling the local food, and feeling the sun on your skin. The real magic of a book like this happens in the quiet moments of reading, when a particular story or a simple phrase lands in a way you didn't expect, and a light goes on inside you. This summary is your map, designed to help you decide if this is a journey worth taking. If anything we've talked about today has resonated with you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just learning, it's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself and the world. Also, if you found this summary valuable, it would mean the world to us if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book from the world's most successful minds. Let's keep growing together.